Alright, so at this point we just finished connecting these fingers right here. So now what I'm going to do is try to get them attached to this hand. Alright, so let's get right to it. So first things first, I'm going to right click, go to vertex, I'm going to grab these vertices, and I am going to hit R for scale, and I'm going to scale them a little bit wider. The other thing is, you want it to be watertight. So you'll notice that I made a nice hole in here. But I still have the faces here. So I'm going to right click, drag down the faces, and hold tab, and click and drag across those and delete them. So I have a hole. Now I'm going to take this guy, and I am going to move it roughly kind of close, and you can see that's pretty close. Alright. Now one of the issues that you'll notice is that, so I can go 1-to-1 here, and you can see right here, like these vertices will match up. But then here, I have 1 and 2, and I only have this single vertice here. Okay, so basically I got to cut it into 2. So that's obviously no good. So what I'm going to do is, real roughly, I'm going to use this multi-cut tool, which is this button right here, or you just go Mesh Tools, Multi-Cut Tool, and I'm just going to click here. And I'm going to go over here, click, and then I'm just going to drag so I can see where it is, and click, okay? Then hit enter. So now I got these two, all right? I'm going to do the same thing on the other end, because I'm going to have the same problem here. So click, and I'm going to click and drag, and boom, and hit enter. All right. So now I should have enough geometry on both ends. This is a try, which I'm not a fan of, but for all intents and purposes, it's fine. Before I can merge these, I got to combine the two. You see they're two separate objects. So I'm going to select this one, hold shift, select this one, and do mesh combine, which is the orange piece of paper in a circle, or you just do mesh combine. Okay, either way. All right, so now you'll see when I click on one, both are highlighted. Now we need to merge these. All right, so I want to use target weld, which is this tool here. Okay, or you can go to mesh tools, target weld. I'm going to hit the option box. And I want to choose target, not center. And we are going to merge the palm to the finger. So I'm going to click here and drag to this one. And you'll see it snaps to it. Click and drag. 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 And click and drag. Okay, so and now if you look, you'll see that that is now one piece, which is great. Now unfortunately it looks like he must work at like a fireworks factory, because he's missing his thumb, so we need to attach this thumb as well. All right, so this was the extra nublet that we made to attach. All right, so there's usually a space between your fingers and your thumb, so I'm gonna add an extra spot right here, and it's going to solve two issues, you'll see. So I'm going to use my multi-cut tool again, and I'm going to hold control. You see when I hold control, it'll do across. So I'm going to click here, and now what you'll notice is that solved two issues. One is it added a space for me to put my thumb, and also it made this, if you look, if I move this over, you'll see this is now a quad. Okay, so which is good. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this face and delete. This is the right area, right? Yep. Okay. I'm going to take this, and if you look at your thumb, it does have as many joints, but they're actually on the inside, so I actually don't need this part here. So I'm going to right click, go to face, and I'm going to click and drag across so I get all of these parts, as you can see, and I'm hit delete. Okay. Now I'm going to grab this guy here, and I'm going to bring it over there. All right, so I got W for the move tool. I'm going to pull it over, and I'm going to hit E for rotate. And you see how it's kind of cockeyed? It's because right now my tool settings, which is this button right here, you can see it's on object. So if you look on the values here, you see it's rotated on -30. But if I switch this to world, it will be based off of the world's rotation. Okay, so it just makes it a little bit easier to navigate. So I'm going to go like that. And I'm just going to scale this. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to scale this a little bit fatter. Alright, so now I'll hit E for rotate and bring it over like that. Now, your hand doesn't exactly exist on a plane. Usually a thumb kind of goes down at an angle. This is kind of weird. Let's hit R. Oh, that's why it's scaled cockeyed. Take my scale and also make that world. And I'm going to make it a little bit wider. Okay. So say it looked a little bit odd. Okay. So like that. And I'm actually going to point it kind of downwards, right? And move this down like that. All right. Because usually if you hold your hand up, you'll notice that your thumb kind of goes down. And that's basically what we're looking for. All right. And we're going to call that. Okay. So now what I got to do is combine these two. So I'm going to take this one, and we're going to do mesh, combine. All right. Now, I could do the whole mergey thing, but you'll see there's a big gap in there, which is going to be hard to kind of get this to match up to. So instead, I'm going to use bridge. Now, what I want you to notice is that if you look, the center line of this finger is right here, and the center line of this arm is right here, right? See how they go straight down it? If you look, the thumb center line's right here, okay? So this has got to match up here. And on this end, it's going to match up to here. All right. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take the next spot over right here, this one. I'm going to hold Shift and click this, and we're going to do a bridge. All right. So go to Mesh Tools, Edit Mesh, and do Bridge. I'm at the option box. Cool, that didn't do anything. Let's try that again. Edit Mesh, Bridge, Option Box. Alright, didn't do anything. Alright, so we'll just push the button. I'm going to push on this right here. It looks like a Band-Aid. And that will bridge across. Now, you might have 5 divisions. That's the default. Just change that number to 0. Okay? So I click there to there and do a division. Now, I'm going to skip this next one, because this would technically go to here. Alright? So I'm going to skip one. And I'm going to click this one to here. And then since bridge was the last thing I did, I can hit G, the letter like go get them. And that will execute the last action. Okay, so I'm going to go there. I'm going to skip this next one. I'm going to go to the palm here, this to this, and then I'll hit G again. Okay. Now what you're going to notice is that we have an empty space here, an empty one here, and an empty one here. So to do those, I'm going to double click on this hole. I'm going to hold Shift, double click on this hole, hold Shift, double click on this hole, okay? And then you're just going to go Mesh, Fill Hole, boop. All right, so now if you look, your thumb is more or less attached. Gloriousness. All right, now we need to do the head. The head's going to be a bit more fun than some of the other stuff. Obviously, we need to polish this whole figure, but I'm just trying to get the base shapes in there, and then we'll kind of, go from there. Now, we're going to do this in the kind of quick and dirty way, but it's not necessarily the best way. Let's put it that way. All right. The head is kind of a round shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, the sphere. Actually, we're not going to click on this. Let's do it manually. I'm going to go to Create, Polygon Primitives, Sphere, hit the Option box. And a menu will pop up, or not. Okay, for some reason mine's not showing up. So if yours doesn't show up, I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. I'm going to click on this, and it's going to make a sphere. What I want you to do is make sure the subdivision axis is 8 and the subdivision height is 8. Okay, take this, I'm going to pull it up. Now, a couple things I need to change about this. So we got 8 by 8. One is I need to get rid of this because this is where the neck hole's got to go. So I'm going to right click, drag down to face. I'm just going to hold tab, click and paint across, grab that, delete. Okay, so I grab those bottom faces where the neck's going to pop out, get rid of it. Now, another thing I want to do is if you look on the top, see how these are all tris? I'm not a big fan of that. I want these to be quads. So quad just meaning that it's 4-sided. See, this is a square or rectilinear shape, and these are triangles. I don't want triangles. So if I look, this is the center edge, right? That's the center of the face. This is sort of the center on this end. You want to grab the diagonal lines. So this one, okay? This one, and this one, and then just hit delete. So now you'll see it's 4-sided faces, okay? As opposed to tris. That's the idea. But this line is still going center. All right, once you've done that, I'm just going to right-click, drag up to object mode. And I am going to scale this. I'm going to switch to a front view. Tap spacebar. and then spacebar again. I'm going to scale this roughly to the size of the head. And let's scale it a little bit more. Let's say like that. And I got to squeeze it in a touch this way. Move it down a little bit, something like that. I'm going to switch to the other view. And I'll hit R, and we're going to scale it a little bit this way. Pull this one a little bit forward. Now be sure not to pull this like this, okay? It has to stay straight so that it's on the same center line as this. Alright? Okay. So call that good. Alright. Now this and this. Alright. That is adequate. Now, if I were to look at the number of edge loops on this, this is 8, because that's what we made it. This, if you remember, was originally 4, but we subdivided it twice. So it's not 8. It should be 16. So it's twice as much as this face. So we actually need to subdivide this face to some extent as well. So what I want you to do is take this and hit poly smooth, which is this guy right here. Good. So now it's sort of poly smoothed, and that should match up. Okay, let's go ahead and attach this head to this neck. First, I need to make a hole. Now, the hole that I need can be, well, we'll just grab, if you look, see how this one edge loop's going all the way around? That's kind of nice. So I'm just going to right click, drag down to face, and I'm just going to click and drag across. So I have just this top little bit here, and hit delete. Okay, so now I got a hole there, and I got a hole here. Next I got to do is combine the two. I have the head selected, shift select the body, and we're going to do mesh combine. So just this button here, or mesh combine. Okay, now they're one piece, and we need to connect. They are underneath the same shell, but they're not actually they're not connected by vertices. So I need to do that. Again, I could target weld. This is just going to be easier to bridge. So I'm going to right click, go to edge, right click, drag up, and go edge. I'm going to double click this edge loop. It's going to go all the way around. I'm going to go up here, hold shift, and double click. So then I got both edge loops, and then I'll hit bridge. Boop. And you can see it made that. And I'm just going to go ahead and take divisions and maybe do, I'm going to leave it at 1 because it's not creating the stuff I need there. All right, good. That's a pretty ugly neck. So I'm going to go ahead and use my multi-cut tool. I'm going to hold control and click. And then I'm going to grab, double click on that edge loop. I'm going to switch to this view here. And I'm going to hit R for scale. And I'm going to scale it in like so. You can see like that. I'm going to tap spacebar and go to this view. And you can see it's a little bit wider this way. And it's got to go this way a little bit. Glorious. Okay. Oops. That was weird. Popped right out. Okay. So that's sort of a neck. All right. So we're gonna okay. I'm gonna fix one more thing on this, and then we'll do the video for the face. All right. So if you look, this is an n-gon, which means that it's not 4s and it's not 3. 3 is okay and 4 is okay. 3 is not as okay. You want everything to be 4s, but this is definitely not okay. So we just need to clean this up. So this is gonna be pretty easy. I'm gonna right click, go to vertex, and we're just gonna use target weld. Make sure it's on target still. I'm gonna click and drag up. Okay, this will now become a tri, which is fine, but you can see that these are now quads. Okay, and the same thing on the back end here. Click and drag up. Boom. All right, like so. Okay. Then we'll just save this. Control Shift S, and I'm gonna save it as version number 4. Okay, and we'll hit continue. All right. So now we have a real basic body, and what we need to do is start working on this face. And then the face will probably be a whole video, and then I'll just do a quick kind of fixing the body up so it doesn't look so terrible. All right, so that's this video.